If anybody outside of your family is making life uncomfortable for your offspring or your children, you have that position to give. You speak up for them. You protect them with your words. You get out there and you protect your children. Teneni lenigi di das get up in dan hitting tene hadi. So that lot bahon do ni in Australia hadi got kehat nenegi e that a lot illegal ne get illegal. Pan så kesto benas ne tolle. Hade oton net nog lenigi bahon do. Hat isidi got benan hit not kigi got e benas ne tolle. E den ne. Nog lenigi e ha ke ne get illegal. In the traditional teachings of our people, the most important thing we are told is that of family. And the word that we have for family is keh. Keh does not just mean the immediate family with mother and father and siblings, but it goes beyond the immediate family. In fact, it goes beyond grandparents and it goes beyond the other relatives in that. It goes to the whole clan that you're descendant of. It is very important to understand that it includes the whole clan family, and the clan family may be several 100,000 or so people, really. And so me being of the Bitterwater clan, anybody that is of that particular clan or related to the Bitterwater people, those are my relatives. Is what I would say. They are my relatives in some way. So the Bitterwater people are many, just like the other families that they call the Begay family. But the Begay family is not a clan in a way. There's not a Begay clan. But the name itself is of all of the different clans in that, in the ways of our people. But just like the Yazis are made up of a lot of different clans. But in that particular name group of Yazi and Begay, there are many Bitterwater people, and they are related to me in some way. So the important thing to know is that the clans came about originally by the four basic clans. The first clan that we are told, or the first group of the Neh that became a clan group, were the Towering House people. And then the Towering House people, of course, had the Tsanatjini. Tsanatjini means the black shadow streak in the forest. But I don't think it means just the forest, because they talk about things that are more in a swamp jungle. And so there's possibility that these people did not come from a forested area, they came from a swamp area. And then the other one is of course, the Bitterwater people, Tolichini, which is what I am. Our people came from a place where there were water that was very bitter, and it didn't have much use, and so they had to kind of make special preparations to find a place where they could use the water that was available. And then the last one is the Edgewater people. Now, the Edgewater people could be people that lived along the edge of a river, or even people that lived near the ocean. But it is that these are the four families, and that the original clan families. And when those people came from the east and came west, other people that they encountered, that even in the southwest, we had a lot of different groups of people. And I keep mentioning that there were some groups that were the cliff dwellers, and then there were some people that were the Pueblo type people. The Sinagua people were that type of people, and the cliff dwellers, and possibly that what they call the Fremont people. And so all of those people, there are a lot more in that people say that they vanish. That's not so. What happened is they became the Neh. And so at one time we are told that there were as many as 147 different clan families. And these were all somehow at one time to be regarded as one family. Keh is what we call it. Now, the other thing I might mention is some of these people came from the far north. So I think there's a lot of confusion about the idea that the Ne did not come from the east, they came from the north. The Ne, or people that became the Ne, came from all different directions. And they became a clan family among the Ne. The Netra is what they came to be among the Ne. And so after being among the Ne, they became clan family. The others I might mention is the Spaniards. When they showed up, and our people raided their settlements and carried off women and children to try to discourage the Spaniards and make them leave. When they took these captives, they adopted them eventually, and they became a part of the Ne. And they had their own clan family, the Spaniard clan, which we call Nakai the Ne. But when they became mixed with other clan families, Nakai the Ne, and they probably married even Torich-ini, Bitterwater, and they became people that were that can claim family of Bitterwater, or the Towering House people, the Edgewater people, or the Dark Shadow Streak in the Forest people. But they became the Ne. And these people, because they were mixed between the Ne and the Spaniards, those people were not called the Spaniards. In many cases, they would call them Nakai the Ne, but in reality, they would be known as Nakai Spai. And that is completely a different type of clan, but they don't have the Nakai Spai clan. You have to know that for yourself. If you're a direct descendant of the Spaniards, you know that. But if you're several generations back, you might be more Nakai Spai than anything else. So even today, we have people from other parts of the continent that are descendant of the Spaniards, but they have mixed with other tribes or other tribal people to the south. And so those are the people we call Mexicans, but the Mexicans are Nakai Spai. So there's a lot of things to understand as to the way that the clan families were organized. And it's very important to know your clan and to be able to introduce yourself by your clan families. From myself at Torich-ini, that's my mother's clan. That goes back on through my great-grandmother, my grandmothers, and on back. And those are, as we go further back, we call those Nkizaza, and it goes also with the grandfathers. So my grandfather, of course, my father's side are the Towering House people, and my grandfather on my mother's side are the Edgewater people, and my father's clan is the Towering House people. So I have this great opportunity to be descendant of the original 4 clans of our people. And there are many things in that I'm able to recognize about myself. And one of the things is that people that became Nakai the Ne, most of them could grow a mustache or a beard. I can't do that. Even when I was in the military, we'd shave every day, and then sometimes I wouldn't even put a razor blade in a razor. And I was clean shaved. But it is that those are some of the things that we can be aware of. Now, it's important for mothers and fathers to know about their immediate family, their children, their offspring. Now, when we have a coming-of-age ceremony, we are given a sacred name. Now, I can remember when I reached about the age of 11 or 12 or so, I had my ceremony, and it was done with just my male relatives, and it was a sweat lodge, and it was especially for me. And I know when the girls have it, they have Kinalta. Ke is girl, Ki is boy. So I had the Kinalta, and the girls would have their Kinalta. And so when they had that event, they usually give you a name, a ceremonial name. And so I've had a ceremonial name since I was very young. And it was given to me by one of my grandfathers that can give names. And he took several days to think of a good name for me. And when he finally did, he got made a stone offering. Is what he fixed a little altar and offered up these sacred stones. and gave me the name. And it's my ceremonial name. And in that name, there is the first part of it I have found through the years, always the word hashke. Hashke is the scolder or the person that has words that he can use, and that when he disciplines people. And the boy has that name. And the girl usually has a first part of the name, and the last part of it is Ba. Those names that are given at the coming of age is very important, because for the man, it is to be a person that can have the authority in his family, his home, to speak in a way that he counsels his children and that he teaches them. And hashke, if they get out of line, you have to scold them. And it is very necessary part. And if anybody outside of your family is making life uncomfortable for your offspring or your children, you have that position to give. But is you speak up for them, you protect them with your words. You get out there and you protect your children. And the mother, Ba, that is also a very important part of the teachings of our people. She is a warrior. She is a warrior for her family, to provide them with food and to make sure that the children have the clothing and the food and the shelter. And that's what she fights for. And so in her home, in her hogan, they have the bundle of the greasewood stirring sticks. Adestin is what they call it. And there's 7 of them, of those stirring sticks. And those are her arrows to fight and defend her family against the enemy that could be hunger. And so both the mother and the father, when they have the coming of age ceremony, when they're very young, they are given those names to defend their family, to take care of their children, and that they will eventually produce offspring. They produce the offspring. They are to provide for them, they are to protect them, and they are to teach them, preside over them. And so it is very important to understand that, you produce and you provide, you protect and you preside. 4 things. And the sacred number 4, that's the way the teachings are. But there's a 5th element that's very important, which is to pray for your family, to be constantly be in a position to pray for your children, that they'll do well at whatever they're trying to do for themselves, and pray in a way that they see you and recognize that you pray for them. I know that in my own life, I watched my grandparents and my great-grandmother and my mother and my father, they prayed for me. Sometimes they would just pray for me as an individual, one of their children. When I was going to be doing something and then being involved in something, they would pray for me, get out the corn pollen and offer up a prayer. But it's also important to understand that you have to teach your children to pray for one another. Is the way they used to tell us, is pray for each other. And learn how to pray, very young age, and to be able to recognize that you have a relationship with the holy people, that everything you do in life is that they are aware and that they will always be there, and they always remember that you are the child of the holy people, and you must have that communication. That communication, they tell us, is which is like it is your umbilical cord, the spiritual umbilical cord to the holy people. You have another one when you are born, which puts you on the surface of Mother Earth. I have to always remember my mother. My mother was the only girl in her family. She had 2 older brothers, and then her, and then 2 younger brothers. But they served in the military, all of her brothers, even before they were of age to join the military during World War II. In fact, one of my younger uncles, he was only 14 years old when he joined the Navy. And they were gone all the time during the World War II. and some of them served in the European theater. And my younger uncle, he participated in the Pacific on a ship. And so while they were gone, my mother constantly prayed for them. And she always said every morning she would get up, she would plead with the holy people to keep them safe. And they all returned safely. And she was the only one that was actually one that was left. She was orphaned in that when her mother died in childbirth. And she was, of course, taken care of by some of her mother's sisters and that. Her mother's sister became her mother. And so it was that that was the way that she always encouraged me to take the time to be supportive of your brothers and sisters. And so I encourage other people, of course, to do that as well. And the idea of being responsible for your children. I was at a powwow one time, and the children were getting kind of rowdy and getting out of hand, and the arena announcer, he reminded the parents, and very much scolding them. He says, "Parents," he says, "control your children. Either that or control yourself and don't have any more." But I think that's very wise counsel for any kind of parent, and that preside over your children, provide them and protect them from the things that can endanger their life as they try to make their life. And until they get old enough, you keep providing for them with the food and the clothing and the shelter that they need. And always be protective of your children in a positive way. You don't want to protect them if they are doing wrong. You have to be in a position to have the scolding that's necessary. And so those are the things that we are told.
Hey, thanks for watching our videos. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss one of our uploads. Also, head over to our website, NavajoTraditionalTeachings.com. Sign up for our email list. Okay.